Alright guys, thanks for tuning in for this next episode with West Australian metal detecting. I'm Jared. Alright, go through my kit and then we can go on to my auxiliary gear as well. First off is my Equinox 800 Minelab metal detector. This is a really good machine. You are paying in excess of $1,000, actually about $1,300. The good thing about this machine is that you get a lot more features. It's a lot more tunable. You're going to avoid a lot less. You're going to have a lot less false signals. It's made with some, I wouldn't say bad machines, just not as refined, I should say. With a lot less features, you're not going to have as much control. Such as my old detector, which is a Garrett 300 Ace I. Good machine, really well built, good brand. Just not really ideal for anywhere near interference, power lines, highly mineralised ground, hot rocks, things like that. This machine will tune that out. I'm not familiar with the other Minelab detectors, so I can't speak for them. But I can speak for this as being a really good machine for the money you pay. I would highly recommend anyone looking into getting into metal detecting. I would highly recommend the best Minelab detector you can buy. Yeah. All right, we'll go into my normal kit that I carry. First off is field dressing. Any cuts, abrasions, sprains, things like that. You'll notice these things from particularly old war movies, especially Vietnam War. You'll see soldiers pulling out a big white bandage from something that looks like this. Well, that's what that is. I've got that because it's a really good multi-purpose bandage, which is what a lot of my kit is, so I don't have to carry as much. Second thing up is water bottle. Now, if you're going to be anywhere for any length of time, or anywhere where you can't get to water on a readily available basis, such as a park, I would highly recommend at least carrying a water bottle with you. Not necessarily one like this, but at least carry some water on you. Next up is my Profine 35 pinpointer. Now the reason why I went for the 35 is it's got adjustable sensitivity, which is your plus and your minus here. It's got a little light here, and there's when you look at one, they'll go into more detail as to the features and that on it, but that is the top of the Wazza one. Next up is my little shovel trowel that I carry on me. The reason why I've gone for this is because it's small, compact, and it does a really good job. It's got a shovel and a pick on it. The rest of the handle does screw into it. Now this is good for if you've got any small to medium finds. If you're going out to old military camps, or old homesteads used to be, or any big properties, you're going to need to carry some other stuff with you. I will go into that in a minute. We'll just go over this first. Next thing up is my machete or my parang. It is technically called a parang, but it's still, everyone else will call it machete. These are good for if you're trying to get into a spot where there's a bit of shrubbery, tree roots, things like that. Now it is important to state that if you don't need to unnecessarily remove shrubbery or plants, things like that, don't do it. Try to leave as small an impact or as small a hole as possible where you're digging. Otherwise it just leaves a really bad name for everyone else that wants to go and do it, and eventually, like everything, small group of people that aren't considerate and aren't careful ruin it for the majority, which is fair enough. Right, next up is this back pouch here, which has come with the deluxe harness that I got. Good. I've got to go through this couple of small things. Now I've got a headlamp and a normal handheld torch. Now these are good for if you ever go night detecting, or if you've gone during the day, and as you're making your way back, it starts getting a bit dark and you can't see what you're doing. My primary for me is my headlamp, because it just frees up my hands. And if that dies, I've got a backup, which is my torch. You can buy these any shops, supermarkets, camping shops, anything like that. Next up is my little hand scope. Now, this is a like a kitty litter tray, things like that. This is just a cheap option, just a hand sieve scoop. Now, it works really well. Works really well for what it is. It's plastic, so if you're trying to look for anything in the dirt that's in there with your pinpointer, the pinpointer is not going to pick up on the metal of, say, other hand scoops, metal hand scoops, things like that. There are plastic scoops out there which I personally would more recommend over the metal ones. Metal ones do have more durability, but with the plastic ones, you can stick your detector in there, and you're not going to have any interference with the metal. Second, well, the next thing up, sorry, I've got some Ziploc bags. That out of the way. They're good for any little relics, small items that you may find. So you just put them in there, and if you want to put it on a display, your personal display, or you're going to use them and money out of parks, that's good for keeping that stuff separate from the other stuff. Next up is GPS. Now, if you're going through a park, like a public park kind of thing, you're not going to necessarily need one of these. However, if you're going through, say, a beach or an old military camp, an old homestead site, something similar, having one of these is really handy. You can use it, you can set it in map mode so you can track your movements, and then you can also pinpoint where your vehicle is and where your different finds are, if you ever need to come back to it. Next thing up is what they call a digging blade. Now, these are good for, it's very much similar to this little guy here, which is my little folding shovel. This is more good for digging in a lawn or something, where you can make a very small hole, get what you want out, and then put it all back so you've got minimal impact. It's good for, you can cut string, rope, that kind of stuff with it. It's got a depth gauge on it. And it's also good for digging in hard ground as well. Alright, we'll go on to the next one. Nearly finished. This is what they call a prospecting pick. Now, you get other different different designs and that up the top, but this one's good. I personally recommend this one because it's got a flat edge on both sides, so you can use it as a scraper. If you're going through, say, heavily rooted ground or ground with lots of roots in it, so your clay kind of soils, this edge is really good for that. If you're going through really hard ground and it's really hard slog, well, then you've got the pick. Really simple design. People have made these before, but this one's really good, really good quality. Nice wooden handle. Alright, well, thanks for watching. Hope this helps anyone that's looking to get into it, and I'll see you next time. My next video will be up in about 2 minutes, couple of minutes, sorry, on about my auxiliary gear.